When we delve into Islam's history in West Africa, we encounter a significant mystery requiring resolution. We find the conquest of the Kingdom of Ghana by Muslims. We find armies sent by the Umayyad state in the 2nd century AH, in the early 2nd century AH, to the owner of Ghana. We find the military conquest, for me, the state of the Almoravids, the famous and great state. In Morocco and Mauritania, we find that this country opened the Kingdom of Ghana in the late 5th century AH. The 5th century AH means the 11th century AD. And we find that most of the people of the Kingdom of Ghana converted to Islam. Then after that, when we come to read about the history of Ghana, the state of Ghana that exists now, we find that there is no mention of this topic, there is no mention of an Islamic conquest of it at the various stages of history. Rather, we find that Islam entered Ghana approximately at the end of the 8th century AH or the 9th century AH, meaning it is 300 years or more later than the dates that we read in our history books, and we find the percentage of Muslims small. We will say that when we conquered the Kingdom of Ghana, the number of Muslims was approximately the entire country entered Islam, while now we find Muslims in Ghana about 19.9% in some countries. And then Saturday, among them are 17%. Of course, the majority of the population in Ghana is now Christians. The percentage of Christianity in Ghana is 71% and a little, and of course there are some religions that are local paganism is about 8-9%. This situation creates a mystery for us. A mystery. Where is the history? What is the Islamic history of Ghana? When did it begin? How did it unfold? This percentage varied from the entire people are Muslim until now the percentage of Islam in the people is 20%. Solving this mystery or deciphering the code is if we know that the historical term Ghana is different from its political term. Now this is one thing and this is one thing. In other words, the Ghana that exists now is not the Kingdom of Ghana that was opened by Muslims. For me, this difference between scholars has many explanations, but everyone agrees. However, the Ghana that exists today is not the Ghana that the Muslims conquered in the 5th century AH. Ghana was founded by the Muslims in the beginning, before the Muslims entered it. It was founded by some local tribes called the Sanang tribes, and of course my father, if I am a native of the word is not in a proper way. The Sonang means its name is one of the African tribes in this region. This region is almost located in the southeast. Now, I mean, at this time, it is in this region. Of course, all of these antiquities have become rare, but they exist but are rare in the southeast of Mauritania. Then this kingdom expanded to include reaching in the west to Senegal and in the east, reaching large parts of Mali, the Republic of Mali. It reached the city of Timbuktu. I held the Kingdom of Ghana ransom at that time. And then what? This place was sent to by Muslims during the era of the Umayyad state in another. In the late 1st century or early 2nd century AH, they sent an army to this area, as Al-Bakri, one of the Andalusian geographers, mentioned. And this is the area that Abu Bakr ibn Omar al-Lamtuni, may God have mercy on him, one of the senior leaders of the Almoravids state. This city entered the capital city of this kingdom. Which is it? Her name was Kumbi Saleh. What was her name? Kumbi Saleh, the city that still exists today in southeastern Mauritania. He entered the city in 1076 AD. This corresponds to the year 469 AH, and he set. They were stationed in Medina Dia for about 11 years until the year 480 AH, and they spread Islam in the region, and a very large number of Muslims immigrated to this kingdom, and thus with the passage of time the entire population of the region converted to Islam. Thus the Kingdom of Ghana actually became Islamic, but the intended Kingdom of Ghana is the kingdom that exists in Mauritania, Mali, and parts of Senegal, which are now mostly Muslim. Actually, Mauritania has almost 100% Islam, and Mali has 95% Islam. This is the basis for the formation of the Kingdom of Ghana. The old, and then the days passed, and this state reached a stage of weakness, being the 13th AD. Yeah, almost 7th Hijri. This kingdom fell and had Muslim rulers, even when it was sometimes ruled by some pagans in its periods. Most of the sect that helped the ruler to rule were Muslims. The educated elite in the entire country were Muslims. All of this in the Kingdom of Ghana, which is located in West Africa in the Mauritania region. And what about my money, Amal? What's left? The state of Ghana? Are you there now? The rich country that exists today is also a country located in West Africa. But a strong south of this ancient kingdom is located on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean or on the Gulf of Guinea. Kalenia is part of Saturn's outer ocean, bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the east, west, and north Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is located north of Ghana. It separates it from the ancient kingdom of Ghana, meaning north of Burkina Faso, there is Mali and Mauritania. In the area where the ancient kingdom of Ghana was located, there is a very large difference, about 1 to 600 kilometers from north to south, between the ancient kingdom of Ghana and the modern state of Ghana, which is located in the lower areas. The country of Ghana is relatively small, about 238,000 square kilometers, and its population is approximately 33,000 citizens. According to recent statistics, 2023, the question remains for me, Ghana, who is in the south, took the name Ghana, even though she has never been in these lands. Some people said that they borrowed this historical name, which is the history of West Africa, which is very important in the Kingdom of Ghana, because the Kingdom of Ghana is considered the first kingdom in West Africa to emerge with a complete African race, with a complete African nationality. In the historical circle of the region, hence Timona with this name Ghana, because it means independent, in the year 57,957, worked this name with this entity, chose this name. Some people say, by God, the ancient kingdom of Ghana, which was present in Mali and Mauritania, extended a little to the south, meaning it took all of Burkina and entered the outskirts of northern Ghana, and therefore this part of northern Ghana was actually part of the kingdom of Ghana, which we do not have. Strong evidence of this, there are no specific traces discovered in Burkina Faso that prove that. You are affiliated with the kingdom of Ghana, but this is an opinion from the historical opinions that exist, and some people said that modern Ghana is Ghana. I chose this name because it indicates complete independence from England. England occupied Ghana in approximately 1900, 901, something like that. It was named the Gold Coast, and when Ghana was liberated in 57, it was the first colony. English is liberated throughout West Africa, and therefore it took for itself this name which expresses independence from England. Ghana remained as a sign of the gathering of Africans in an independent, free entity, far from the various occupations, whether English, Portuguese, or French in this region. Some people said that this is after my foresight into the future. What does this mean? I mean, I want to take a specific name that unites Africans because the historical kingdom of Ghana has a great historical presence among Africans and great interest in it because it is the first kingdom to have a presence in this region of complete African origin, meaning F. That is why we are proud of her. And she said, by God, if I call myself Ga, I will be able to inherit Ghana's legacy in the future, and I will have property in Mali, property in Mauritania, and property in Burkina Faso. I have a vision for the future that will expand, especially. After the occupation, if independence from the English occupation came directly from the occupation, then they don't know what tomorrow is about. Tomorrow it can expand and take other areas of African territory from the various existing occupations, French, Belgian, Dutch, German in this region, Portuguese. Some people also said that it is possible that there was an immigration from one of the people of ancient Ghana to the region of modern Ghana, Hadi and Duda, a school with great supporters in which there were tribes called the Akan tribes, including the Ashanti branch, which is most of the people of Ghana now. They say that this is a branch of the Akan, and the Akan existed in ancient Ghana and migrated after the state became extinct, and the state fell in the 13th century AD. He migrated to Ghana and thus called himself Ea Ghana, according to their ancestors who were living in Ghana. The ancient, and the last thing I say is that there are people who said that this is a linguistic issue. The word Ghana is originally in the language of the Al tribes that founded the Al. The state at first, or kingdom at first, means the warrior king. I mean, it is as if it is a title like Caesar, like a fragment like Pharaoh. There is no doubt about a specific person. This is a title given to the president. The main title is called Ghana, and therefore it starts. If the expansion of this title means that the whole kingdom is called after this president, how? Say, for example, what? Land of the Pharaohs? So he called it that, and therefore when they created the state of Ghana, they named it after this name, after the name of the king who spoke their language, the king who can rule an independent state. This is also an indication of independence linguistically, and not yet. Historically, as for the arrival of Islam to modern Ghana, which exists now, it arrived in the 8th century, the late 8th century, or the early 9th century AH. We will try the 14th. Approximately AD, and it flourished in the 10th century AH, and this was through trade, not through conquest, and most of the merchants who were immigrants to Ghana were immigrants from Mali. They dealt with trade between Ghana and Mali and spread Islam in Ghana, and Islam reached, as we said now, at about 20%, whatever the matter, Islam has proven itself in Mauritania and Mali. The country that was opened through the great Almoravid state, opened in the 5th century, will happen, so Islam has proven itself, and indeed most of the people. Islam has arrived to Ghana through trade, modern Ghana through trade, and I believe that the history of the region needs deeper studies and more details, and it also needs preachers who bring this great religion to these regions that do not know much about Islam. We ask God Almighty to honor Islam and Muslims. May God reward you well, and may God's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you.